is up, everyone? I would just like to say congratulations because you have punched your ticket to reality. My name is TJ Zwarich, your host, editor-in-chief of Agents of Fandom.com, joined as always by Ryan and Emma, my fellow agents, joined as well today by my partner, my wife, Ava, and of course, we have Season 2 of The Circle finalist, Lee Swift, talking about a pretty damn exciting show today with The Perfect Match on Netflix. Lee, I'm throwing it to you first. We got many of your friends reappearing here on this show.
Yeah, I've actually met several. In fact, I met Chase in Austin for something, and I'll save my comments. I want to hear what I'm thinking about Chase.
Chase sucks.
But Savannah was on my season. Mitchell, on my season. Chloe. So yeah, I know a few of them, and I've met Joey. Joey's Joey. I love Joey. But I'm loving everything they're dishing out. I don't know how Emma feels about it. Ryan, you and Ava, but I love it. Love it so far.
I'll go to Emma next because you and Lee have both only seen the first 3 episodes. As we record this, it is Tuesday, February 21st. It's Tuesday, right?
Yes.
It's Tuesday. And episodes 5 through 8 just came out. Ava and I have seen them. Ryan is caught up as well. But Em and Lee, you're only on through the first 3, so I want to know, what's your first impression of this show? How do you like The Perfect Match?
So I really like it so far. Some of the people we've talked about this aren't my favorite, but I'm really enjoying the cast as a whole. I think it's really fun, and I like how they kind of already have introduced some chaos into the first couple episodes. But it's interesting. It's a really interesting mix of people, and I think people that wouldn't normally necessarily get together, except for some of the ones that had previously got together, as we found out. But it's pretty interesting to see, especially Francesca being back. It kind of made me reminisce about her being on Too Hot to Handle when pretty much everyone wanted to get with her, which is understandable. But it reminded me of that. But I'm enjoying it a lot so far.
That's kind of how the first episode started. It seemed like all the guys wanted Francesca. And I thought, is this Too Hot to Handle I'm watching?
Right.
Yeah, they're saying, are we going to talk about the F word? And they're just like, what, the F word? And it's like, Francesca. Everyone was trying to make their moves. It was interesting. I'm from Too Hot to Handle. You could see she was this commodity. And then you see her infiltrate during Love is Blind after the Alter Season 1. And now here she is, 3rd time on a Netflix reality show. And again, she's this hot commodity. And obviously, most of these guys from episode 1 already know her. They've seen her, and they're just like, I want her. And it's just interesting to see this competition.
Can we talk about the outfit? I mean, her outfit was all of them are very seductive and sensual and wonderful, but her outfit, I was like, wow, just a good pair of scissors and you're in. I mean,
Well, and do we mind?
That's fair.
Anyway,
what do you think of this show so far? Because it's basically The Circle meets Too Hot to Handle meets Love Island, which is one of our favorites.
Yes, I love Love Island. I love reality dating shows. And I don't know if you guys have ever heard of a Pecha Kucha, but it's a Japanese style presentation where you have 20 slides and 20 seconds per slide. And a lot of companies use it for engineering or science ones, so it's get through information really quick. But me and my friends actually do it for fun. And I did a Pecha Kucha just explaining, comparing different reality dating shows. And so my favorite reality dating show is Love Island, specifically Love Island Australia. For some reason, the producers just are working different on that one, but on almost every Love Island season they always do a kissing challenge. And was it episode 2 or 3?
2.
I think it was
two
2.
had that kissing challenge, and I'm
Mhm.
really curious if the way that they set it up on Love Island is that everybody actually watches each other. So they set all the girls up, and all the girls have blindfolds and earmuffs on, and then each boy goes through and kisses each girl, and then after each kiss, the girl says, "This was my score out of 10." And so then they have all of the scores written out, and so it's like immediate you find out who has the best kiss with who, and then they switch, and then all the boys have their headphones on and their eye mask on, and then all the girls go through. And I thought it was really interesting. I wonder if there's some things where they're not allowed to do it the same for any kind of like, I don't know, copyright or some kind of like way that they can't do it the same. But I think I like the Love Island version better because you get to find out how they feel about everybody's kiss. And in this one, we didn't get that. But I think they sort of wanted a bigger reveal for the kisses in this one, where you don't get that for the Love Island version. So I think that's kind of interesting comparison. And I think there's a lot of comparisons also where like Love Island is the same where if you're left without a match, you get dumped from the island, which is the same for this. But for Love Island, it's really like climactic. Like it's really like they set everybody up around the fire pit and everybody does a little call out. It's very serious. And this one is sort of like, they just sort of like skulk off to the bedrooms and then like, they don't know who's going to be left. And I don't know actually if I like that much, because I think it sort of sometimes needs a bit of a moment and needs a conversation. And I don't think they got that with this.
Big time Irish goodbye with the way they match without having to try and talk to people. And I agree. I like the Love Island version of the Kiss Challenge better too, because there's less strategy involved. It's spontaneous. It's the moment. You don't get somebody like Chase being like, "Oh, I know exactly what this is. I got to rate it as per such." Let's talk about the individual cast members and our thoughts on them. And even though Chase came in on episode 2, let's start with him, because Emma and I were texting as we're going through these episodes. We both agreed Chase sucks. I'm going to have to obviously bite my tongue if he's one of the contestants we happen to have on the show, but I don't think he's going to be. We got Joey and Chloe coming, hopefully, but I don't think Chase is going to be in the cards. You met him in person. What did you think about his entrance?
He knows the cameras are on. He really does. I mean, I think Chase is a smart guy. I mean, he's definitely playing a certain type. Okay, here's the story. I'll tell the story here. So when I went to Austin, Netflix had us all go to Austin. They were doing a big casting call, and it was me, Chase. Golly, I wish I remembered the other. Nick was there, even though his season hadn't aired. So he just came to meet us. And I forgot who all. There were several. Chris Sapphire from season 1. Anyway, so I saw Chase because we all had to be in this one little section. It was COVID time, and we had to get tested. And he goes, I think that. Who is that guy? He's pointing at me. He goes, "Oh, it's that old fucker from season 2 of the Circle."
Oh my god!
And I go, "Oh, hi."
Jesus.
Hi, it's me, old fucker.
Oh my god!
But actually, I was around him. He was very nice, and he's just who he is. He's just a big old goofball with too much testosterone. I mean, that's who he is. But I think he's great television. I really do. I think he's great television. And that's coming from the old fucker from season 2. So there you go.
I'm curious about like how much is him and how much might be like the production, the producer saying what to play up.
I think that's Chase. I mean, Chase knows. He knows. And I'll be honest, production does push a little, they'll and the way they do it, it's real subtle. It's like, well, what do you think about this one? Do you really like her? Da, da, da. But you really are doing your own thing, I mean, you can push against them. I mean, even when they're doing it, but they're not going to tell you have to go. At least that wasn't my experience. You have to do this. And so, because I think it's still Studio Lambert that's doing it, which is the production company that does The Circle. But yeah, he's something. I'll tell you, my heart is with Savannah. I love Savannah. Again, Savannah gets the shaft and gets booted too early, and becomes the villain of episode 2 with Francesca. But I think Francesca just went. I thought everything Savannah was saying, I was going, yeah, you just been with this guy for 2 or 3 days. You're not in a freaking relationship. How do you feel about that, Ryan, Emma, Ava?
Oh, I no, I think Savannah exactly had a point where she just kept saying, you just said you and Dom are not in a committed relationship, so I am. I mean, the word she used was entitled. I would say like she has the ability to try to work something with Dom, because that's what everyone on the show is. They're trying to find this perfect match. If if Francesca closes that door for Dom right away, then how is he to know that Francesca at that point is his perfect match? How is Savannah to know that he isn't her perfect match? So I completely sided with Savannah, and I just love that,
He
like
just
that.
went up. Oh my
Like the fact that Francesca walked away. Savannah was like, "Conversation is not over. I'm gonna come back. Let's continue this conversation again in front of who was it? Anne Sophie and someone
Carousel.
else, but Carousel. Yeah,
Carousel.
it's yeah. So exactly, it's just like I know I applaud her for standing up for herself, and like again, they're all on the show for the same reasons. Hopefully, I mean I don't know about some other people, but yeah, I think
Ryan and I
everyone.
were talking. The
Yeah.
key of episodes 5 through 8, 4 through 8, really are not here for the right reasons. That's one of the classic like reality TV drinking
Yep.
game
Mhm.
lines. Uh, they say it a few times, but also there's a few of these cast members that you kind of going, don't know if they're here for the right reasons.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm wondering about Nick and Savannah at this point, because that was kind of an interesting like first match, but they're kind of like, we're being strategic about this, and I'm like, I don't know, like what kind of show is, I was like trying to think about
Yeah.
like what are there benefits to being like strategic. I think, I don't know, this doesn't seem like the right kind of show to like
Well, I
play
think
up.
for them,
Yeah,
I'll be devil's advocate, Emma. I
yeah,
think what happened was everybody was pairing up, and they really ended up being the last. And
yeah,
it's like, I'm not feeling chemistry with you. You're not feeling with
right.
me. What are we going to do? Oh, well, let's play
Mhm.
strategy. I really think that's what happened. I think they got kind of, she really
Yeah,
wanted to go with Dom. He really wanted to go with Francesca. And it's like, okay, we got the short end of the stick. What are we going to do? Let's play strategy, and hopefully, maybe when the cards are reshuffled, we can get with who we want. That's what I
yeah.
think.
Yep.
I think
Ava,
they,
what do you think?
I
Do you
think they
agree
were a
with?
little bit in like circle mode.
Mhm.
I think they were
Maybe
in more
so.
circle mode than like perfect match mode. I think that they were like, oh, I want to win, and it's like it's like I think the tough part is like, and this is the same with Love Island, and I'm curious about how this will happen at the very end of Perfect Match, because you can have a couple that has been together the whole time, like that's just stays together, recouples with each other, rematches with each other every single time, and they still might not win because like in Love Island, it's like America chooses. So I don't know how this is gonna go. Is like all the other couples gonna vote? Is that how it's gonna work? Like I think it's really hard to like play this game strategically. But also like the whole premise of the game is kind of tough too, because it's like, what are the chances that they're gonna find their perfect match out of these 5 people that are here? It's really is just more for our benefit of watching this crazy reality TV show than anything.
That's something this show brings really well, is chaos. And I do think that is an issue that we're going to run into more and more as we watch these episodes. Is maybe it's almost like it makes great television, but it's almost a little bit early to do this type of formula and have it actually work to find a perfect match, because the pool of Netflix people is still relatively small for this type of thing. Apologies if this is a season 4, an episode 4 thing that I accidentally spoiled for you guys, but with Savannah and Nick both kind of reshuffling, Savannah's like, and so things don't work out with Dom. She tries to go back with Nick for a last second, like, oh, we can do this, it'll work. And everyone's like, no, like everyone's gonna know we're just friends, right? And she says, well, everyone doesn't know what happened last night. Did you catch that part? Was that more of like a, again, strategy, right? Like we can whip up a story, or did something happen last night?
Interesting.
Who are
I
you
don't
asking?
remember.
I was asking you,
Who are you asking?
Lee
Well, let me-
Swift. I was
hold
asking
on.
you, Lee Swift.
Earth to
I do
Lee.
this.
let me
because-
text Savannah and ask her real quick.
Do it.
Or Nick, either one of them. I'll text them. No, yeah, I don't know. That's a great question. The funny thing is, if I was a girl and dating Joey, you know he's going to kiss and tell because he just tells the whole country, I slept with this one, and I slept with this one, and I slept with that one.
I
So,
cannot believe Joey and Francesca together. Oh my gosh! When I heard that, I was like,
Yeah, that was.
Joey, I'm so
That
proud.
shocked. I know that shocked me.
That's exactly what I tweeted at Joey. We were going back and forth on Twitter a little bit because obviously the stuff with Carousel, the stuff with Francesca, and so I called him out. I was like, man, we were calling you Broy Joey in the circle, but it's Hoey Joey on the perfect match.
holy Joey.
That's what I want to get trending now is hashtag Hoey Joey.
Hoey Joey.
Holy
Yep, I'm
Joey,
here
that's
for it.
awesome.
That's one of the best parts of having you here, Lee, is if we got a question, hey, I'll just text Savannah. I'll just text you. You were talking earlier about meeting Chase, about meeting Chris Sapphire. And on this show, we've been lucky to have stars from the Circles seasons 1 through 5 with Chris Sapphire, Shoebomb. Of course, season 5 here, we just recently had the fan favorites of Raven and Chaz, Sam, Tasia. We've had such a great time. We still got more season 5 interviews coming. We have some perfect match interviews coming here. So make sure you follow the Ticket to Reality podcast wherever you get your podcasts, as well as all the other pods on the Agents of Fandom podcast network, including the Listen 3000 podcast, The Critics, Fandom Academy, and of course the Agents of Fandom podcast. And if you're not watching us on YouTube right now, you're missing out. Make sure you hit the like button when you get over there. But the video is where it's at. You get to see the live reactions of these incredible friends hanging out, us trying to poke information out of Lee because his friends are on the show. And what did you think about the introduction of Hoey Joey and his match, Carousel?
That was interesting. So I was kind of surprised to see him come in as Hoey Joey with like hooking up with everyone. Carousel and him, I'm not sure how that's gonna work out because during that game that they played, the thing where it was like I don't even remember what it was called.
Oh, the factor cap.
Yeah, okay. I was wondering if that's what it was, but I thought I misremembered. So the factor cap, like, it was kind of interesting. I think maybe there was a little bit of a like crossed wires miscommunication type of thing. Like Joey saying like I'm still hung up on my ex from 4 years ago, and she's like, and I understandably so, like that would raise some red flags. I think maybe to give him the benefit of the doubt, he was kind of trying to explain like, well, those feelings don't just like necessarily go away completely, but it was 4 years ago, so it's kind of like I don't know. But I didn't think that they were going to end up matched together again after the rest of that night. I was like really surprised that she was just like, it seemed almost all of a sudden like, yeah, no, we're good. I'm like, what did I just watch? Like, when did that happen? I thought she was going to go with Chase, but I also have feelings about Chase, so I'm kind of glad it worked out.
We cover for your boy here because Carousel's going wild. She's thinking about these other kisses, thinking about these other matches, and what's Joey doing? Mans is asleep.
I know.
He had to take a nap.
Yeah,
I
he was
know. I know. No, it's funny because Joey is hung up on this ex. He's talked about it with me. You know, he just he can't let this girl go. But my advice to him and to anybody that has an ex problem or a heartache, that if you just keep fanning that emotional flame, it's never freaking going to go away. So I think Carousel and him are like friends with benefits. I really think that's where they sit in my book. Ava, you're the Love Island expert. Is that kind of what you think? I mean, they're friends with benefits, right?
Honestly, I think I think Carousel's nuts. I think she's nuts. And I think that Joey is nuts for her. Like, I think based on what it looks like she looks crazy, and it's kind of crazy that I think he's buying into. Like, I think he kind of goes a little crazy for her crazy. I don't know. I don't know about it. They seem like they do kind of pair up well in terms of their craziness, but but we loved Joey though. We loved him on the circle. He was our favorite. Like, he didn't start as our favorite, and then he just there's so many times during the show where he says something, and I'm like, God, I love Joey. Just the things he says is hilarious. I love him. I want the best for him. But it seems like he's crazy about it.
Even when he says something stupid, it's like, Joey, why did you not know?
Okay, I have a question for you, TJ. First,
Yeah.
How many push-ups can you do with Ava on your back?
So I threw my back out yesterday, and the answer is zero. But I will say, when I was at my peak strength, probably about 20 to 30.
Oh wow!
So that's
I
what
can't
your
do
bid
one.
would be. Damn.
I did that at a party one time with a friend who was like, I was very drunk, and the friend was like, she was like an athlete, so like not a small person. She was like, it was like probably around my size, but like a little less than that, but like around my size. And I remember I was like, I had a few beers in, and I got about 15, and I was like, yes, I did it. I'm so strong. I'm a macho man. And then now I have back problems, and I'm 29 years old.
Yeah.
And so, lo and behold, sometimes trying to be macho isn't the best thing. Maybe always, but
Yeah.
speaking of the craziness that we've been talking about, this show has no shortage of it. And Carousel, there's something about the eyes. It's like craziness, but she does not have the craziest eyes on the show. Those belong to Shane. Ryan, we've discussed how crazy this dude is before. Talk to me about Shane.
Oh man, I mean, when I saw him cast in this show, I was worried for the women. 'Cause- right, like we saw what he was like on Love Is Blind, and you know he's. How do I say this? The way he looks a little coked out sometimes. I don't know, like those eyes. Even when he was at the altar at Love Is Blind, I was like, is he on something? Because he's moving, he's really jittery, and I'm just like,
Totally.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. But you know, as much as I didn't like him on Love Is Blind, I think through this show, I've started to like him a little bit. Like I don't hate him is pretty much what I'll say. I think he does wear his heart on his sleeve, and he kind of does love a little much. But I mean, I think that's a better there's been growth, I think, since Love Is Blind. I think he's more willing to express himself a little bit more, and just the only thing is that he doesn't take into consideration the women's thoughts. He doesn't really listen. I think that's still a consistent issue with him. But you know, I do kind of feel bad for him with his situation with the love triangle with him, Inez, and Nick. So, and Nick is playing a whole other game.
I feel nothing for Nick. Not in general. I think he's a good, funny guy. But for some handlings of the situation, Shane creeps me out. He treats everybody like a possession.
He is unhinged.
And I think if he went to therapy, he could be a really good guy. But I don't remember where I was even going with this. Inez. We love Inez. We love Inez.
I love her.
No, I need to watch that.
I want to now.
I love France. It was actually one of my favorite seasons of The Circle. Was the one that Inez was on. It was really fun. The catfishes were good. I would recommend.
Okay,
it's a great season.
She's been getting the short end of the stick so often, and I feel like she's just settling in this show, and she shouldn't have to because she's so wonderful. I feel like if I was on there, I just want to go in there and be like, Inès, comment ça va? Nous pouvons être matchés ensemble, you know? Get a little French in there, and because everybody's treating her like crap, and I don't like it because Inez is just so wonderful.
Can we talk about Dom? We haven't talked about
Dom. Yes, we're on the same page. We Dom.
May I?
Take the floor.
Okay, so Dom is Canadian.
We love a Canadian.
He's Canadian. He's also TikTok famous. I don't know if y'all have seen, but like he kind of made that ludicrous bit his own. He has so many videos of this one sound, and he has done it so well, and that's sort of what he got famous for. And then he was also sort of known as like just this like great feminist guy where he's like you know, into like femininity in his fashion and like and all about like the female gaze, and like we love him. Everybody loves him. So I was so excited. I didn't watch The Mole. I actually like, based on the premise, I was like, I don't know if I'm actually interested in that. I considered watching it just for him, but then I saw him be on this one, I was like, I'm just gonna watch this then, because we love him, and I just want to see him happy. That's all. He's just so wonderful, and I'm just hope for the best for him.
He is so wonderful.
Yeah.
Lee, you did watch The Mole. Tell me what you think about Dom.
I loved him in The Mole. I thought he got the shaft. I was so into him. I wanted him to win, to be honest, and he got shafted. I love him. I think he's, you know, again, I'm 3 episodes in, but I'm a fan. I'm a huge fan of his, and I know Francesca is Canadian, but I'm not a fan of Francesca's. She may be a perfectly nice person. Not a fan, because when they were in that room and she goes, I want to, you know, I know, don't hate me. And I'm like, what? You just sent Savannah packing because she talked to him. And now you're like, I'm going to go on a date with this guy. So I'm just not a fan.
You're only going to like her less and less.
Okay.
Who's the most averse in Love Is Blind among us? I know, like Ryan, you watch Love Is Blind, correct?
Yeah.
And especially like, so of the 3 of you, who has seen the After the Altar with Francesca and what's his name again?
Damien.
Yeah, I think that was I'm sure I watched it. It was like a couple years ago, but
I don't actually know what happened there. Why was Francesca even on that?
Oh God, it seemed they hung out after his season of Love Is Blind, and there was like paparazzi who captured them together, and that sparked so much rumors because I think he was with Giannina at the time, and then that. But like they're like Damien and Francesca's friendship stayed strong, and I guess once the Netflix producers knew about that around the time they were shooting After the Altar, they were like, we have to get her in, and
that makes sense.
I mean it seemed to work. Just causes this drama.
He came in, and I didn't get all the fuss.
That's also episode 4 as well.
Okay, is that episode 4? But Lee was talking about how
I know he comes.
We know he comes. Yeah. It's all good.
Like,
it's all good.
Anyways,
I know Damien comes in. Yeah,
I'm excited to go on this date, right? And I just didn't really understand why. I will just say I'm excited for you guys to get to this point in the show. There's a moment in, I can't remember if it's episode 7 or episode 8, where Damien just goes off on someone. And it makes you bump up multiple respect levels for Damien. It was a hell of a speech.
Ooh,
so that's just a fun little tease.
Before
for
it was
what's to come.
like Dom or Damien, I would be team Dom, right? And then after that, I was like, okay, I actually can see what someone. Yeah, okay,
interesting. Because right now Damien's kind of on the bottom of my list. I don't really like him that much, so I'm looking forward to that. Now, my least favorite person from Love Is Blind, I know is coming, is Bartise. Does he come in this next batch of episodes? Do I have to prepare myself?
Fair.
Oh God!
Prepare yourself. You know what? It's funny. funny because Bartiz is going to come in, and you may think that there's been some growth. You may think that like this guy's not that bad. And it's so funny how like with all of these people, it just like they're great. They're great. And I mean, this I don't really have much judgment because like I think Lee, the perfect example of is you obviously see things from Savannah's side so much more because you are close friends with her. And so I view the situation with Francesca and Savannah, and I kind of go like, I don't think either of them came out of that looking that great. But I don't judge even a little bit because Francesca was being the worst. And also, I know how terrified I would be having to go through all of this stuff on TV. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think I can really expect anyone to be like their best selves all the time in these situations with so much high tension and somebody being so shitty to them. So I have no judgment whatsoever. Where was I going with that? You know?
Bartiz.
Yes.
He's one where thank you on that. And I just last week together in LA.
Yes.
We're clicking right now.
Yep.
Bartiz comes in and it's like, you know, he seems nice. He really does. And then you'll know the moment I'm talking about when all of a sudden it switches. But I was talking like we when we were kind of debriefing before this episode, we were talking about how we'll kind of go in depth to seasons 1 to 4. There's something big that happens at the end of episode 4 that's pretty wild that we're not going to spoil for Lee and Emma and our viewers who haven't gone all the way through here yet. But I do want to kind of tease through through episodes 5 through 8 because I genuinely think episode 7 might be my favorite episode of reality TV that I've watched. Like, there are laughs, there are oh shit moments, there are moments that want to make you cry, want to make you smile, and just feel so good. Some of it gets like parts of it get soured already in episode 8, but the episode 7 in a vacuum is just like it just makes you feel so many emotions. Of course, we can all kind of touch on things before we get out of here as well that if we haven't yet that we want to talk about. But Lee, I do want to throw something to you here because through the first 4 episodes, there are 2 people that we were very excited to see that we do not see in the first 4 episodes. Obviously, like one from your season 2, Mitch. We are excited to see Mitch. We love Mitch. But Chloe is still coming, and we
know they're coming, right? We saw them in the trailer. So the whole time we're watching all the episodes, we're like, just give us Chloe, just give us Mitch. We're ready.
I can't remember what episode it was, but did anyone else catch Joey's 98 degrees joke?
Yes.
I got that.
Yeah.
When you made that joke, I was like, wow, this show is really made for exactly our age group. Everyone who would understand that. And honestly, people who are younger probably won't like this show as much, and they probably definitely didn't get that joke. And I guess that's okay.
For all the youths, 98 Degrees was a boy band.
Yeah, exactly.
Back in the day.
I mean, thinking about like Francesca going back to, sorry, Ryan, you go.
Oh no, go ahead.
Thinking about just with Francesca and Carousel, got that good bi representation, and we'd love to see this. Yes. But I do feel like out of all the reality dating shows we've seen, so few of them are queer.
Yep.
And based on how many bisexual cast members we have in this show in particular, I sort of feel like when are we going to get an all bisexual dating show? Because also the representation for one, but also can you imagine the absolute chaos? It would be wild, and that would be
amazing.
Yes.
If anyone can tell me the movie It's Killing Me, or if any of our listeners can tell me the movie It's Killing Me, but there's some movie where somebody like Nick Lachey makes a cameo in the movie. Ooh. And somebody makes and I almost feel like it's like a scary movie type one, like a parody movie. Nick Lachey makes a cameo and somebody makes it could even be a sitcom. Anyways, somebody makes a 98 degrees joke to him and he just like goes off his rocker and like beats the shit out of them. And that was all I could think of when Joey made that joke, was just like Nick red and just like charging at him.
That's so
Um,
funny.
So if anybody can like remember where that's from, that would be fantastic. But Lee, the reason I brought up earlier your season and the cast members from season 2 is we haven't seen Chloe yet. We haven't seen Mitch yet. Going into these next 4 episodes, Lee and Em, I'll throw it to Em. I'll throw it to you first. What are you hoping to see? Because trust me, it gets chaotic. No predictions are too tame.
Okay. I want to see somebody go from the match that they have now to somebody else. I want to see some match mix-ups if possible. I want to see someone come in and just totally like be maybe like the next Francesca, where like everybody wants this person and it kind of like changes the game. And I would love to see some good old-fashioned drama. That's what I watch reality TV for. I can't lie, it is very exciting and it makes me happy to watch. So that's what I'm hoping for.
You're just like Carousel, because like anytime there's drama, there is Carousel. She
Yep.
is
That's
like
true.
a moth to the flame. It has nothing to do with her, but she's there.
Yeah.
I honestly identify with that very heavily. Nothing else that she does, but that especially.
I'm just curious though, Emma. Who would you want to see be rematched or what? Yeah.
I'm trying to like remember everybody that I watched. Who do we have now? I kind of want to see like I want to see Francesca. Like I like that. I mean, I like Dom, so I want him to be happy. But I kind of want to see like
Happy with Francesca, I agree.
yeah,
Those both statements have to be true. So.
yeah. So it's kind of like part of me like wants to see that kind of get like her get with somebody else, but I don't know. I really don't. I'm kind of just like I it could be anybody at this point. Honestly, like Joey and Carousel. I kind of want to see Joey find somebody else because I just don't love that match. Yeah, right.
Well, some of those kinds of tactics I think are used by the producers, but I was hoping that the entire cast we were introduced to was all going to be there at the start, and there'd still be surprise people that got brought in. Like, again, could you imagine if Joey is sitting there secure, and then in walks Miranda,
Yeah.
and he's like, "Oh!" like, something like that. I think that would be so crazy if they mix some of those in there. Emma, I need you to, since we brought you down, I'm going to need you to flex for a moment, because the Ticket to Reality podcast can be found on the Agents of Fandom YouTube page, but you had a pretty cool interview today. There's a show coming out that you're a big fan of. You are a big fan of the books. Tell us about your interview.
So I got to interview Timothy Oliphant today. Sorry, we had some fun technical things in the background. So I was very excited, and yes, as TJ said, I absolutely loved Daisy Jones, the book. And so far, look out for a review for me at some point, because so far the show, it's awesome, and I can't wait to share that with everybody. He complimented my shirt, so I will tease that.
Oh,
Ooh.
nice.
Yeah.
Love it. Absolutely love it. You can find that up at the Agents of Fandom YouTube page, just like our Ticket to Reality podcasts. Now, here's my question to all of you before we get out of here. We have all described Francesca Farrago as a villain. She's villainous. She doesn't really seem to see things from anyone else's perspective. She is incredibly hot and just wants to get her way all the time. We're 4 Marvel fans. We're 4 reality TV fans. What villain are you casting her as? Imagine she's a great actress. Like, I don't know if she is. I don't know if that's a real thing or not, but just like put this sinister personality onto a character. Who does it fit? The one that keeps, it's not a villain, but the one that keeps popping into my head just based on the whole temptation thing, making you want to do something that you shouldn't do. It's Elektra.
Ooh.
Oh.
Interesting.
Yeah, I can. Elektra is absolutely that. That's, what I would say.
Maybe spot on. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
because
was gonna say like Loki.
Oh,
Oh.
I can see that too.
Yeah, because,
Oh.
like, I just think about her, and she's like, whose team is she on? She's always on her own team. You know,
Yeah.
like, whose side are you on? I'm on my side.
Yeah.
Don't do anything for me. And then also, if you think about the most recent show, well, who's the only person that Loki will fall in love with? It's themselves. And who does Francesca love the most? It's herself. But I just as one more little thing though. No one is more of a villain than Chase. He's the
That's
worst.
true.
He is the worst. And he's like, oh, Francesca's gonna like leave job. That's so much worse than I was. And I was like, you just did that to Sophie. You're the worst, and you're so cocky, and you think you're hot, and you're just like, this is the thing about reality dating shows. Everybody's hot. You must bring something else to the table, and he absolutely does not.
That's so true.
I love
Let her
that, Ryan.
cook.
That was way more information than the question was, but I say it.
I agree with all of the above with the castings and with that analysis.
Ava, you've made an absolutely wonderful addition to the podcast, not only with
Thank
your
you for
great
having
takes,
me.
but with your just hilarious extra commentary in there every now and then. It's absolutely made the show for me. Make sure you check us out wherever you get your podcasts, as well as up on YouTube. That'll do it for this edition of the Ticket to Reality podcast. What should we have titled this? We're going to choose one, but you're going to have to let us know. Is it just the perfect match, first few episodes, or is it old fucker from season 2? We'll see you next
What's
time.
that?
Peace.